Save our canongate, build us affordable houses which are family orientated with gardens and not hotels. We've got enough. Thank you.
This development needs to be stopped. Nobody disagrees that this area needs to be regenerated, but the plans that have been put forward are pretty poor on many levels. The demolition of historic buildings, very bland modern architecture which won't fit in with what's existing.
I don't see that there's a need or demand for what's there. It's principally that it's just incredibly ugly and it's going to destroy a lot of beautiful landscapes and views of Edinburgh.
This area we're ready to have a close-knit community in this area. And I think building more offices and restaurants and bars don't bring this area down. So really, what we need is family homes.
I object to the whole canongate development because I think it's going to destroy a very important historic resource for our city. I also think it does nothing to improve people's lives in the city. There's no housing for ordinary people, there's not enough housing for ordinary people. It's basically, I think it's an environmental disaster in fact.
I'd like to see this development being rethought from the start with community involvement. I think there's an amazing place in the canongate. There's a fantastic community there. There is an opportunity for development, but it needs to be a different type of development.
Certain objectors will jump onto anything to try and stop development. Now, we're the planning authority. There was an article in the Scotsman yesterday explaining that it's the planning authority which takes all issues into consideration when it makes a decision. It's not UNESCO's job to look at individual planning applications. They are visiting the city. It's in November. Our officials and elected members will all meet UNESCO, but it won't be delivering a report for at least another year. And it's completely ludicrous to say we stop all developments like this in James Quarter or whatever until they report. We're the planning authority. If we feel we need modern developments and gap sites, it's up to us to make a decision. We have the help of Restoring Scotland.
Never been sold because they're quite expensive. I think an awful lot of them were bought by MSP, and of course now Dummy Dykes looks lovely because it's got, look how beautiful. They've been reclad. They just reclad them this year.
It's really good.
Save the land.
We don't want those kind of key views of new development just to be restricted to perhaps paying customers or board members, that we want the public to be able to enjoy those views and the sites. There should be more public access to existing and new buildings to understand Edinburgh and appreciate it.
There's all sorts of stories and history in the old town that isn't brought to the surface, particularly about the lives of the people.
But if you actually look at the real stories of the women who have inhabited the old town of Edinburgh, they're a pretty robust and interesting bunch.
People in the south think of the word tenement as meaning something not very far removed from a slum. But in terms of density, critical mass of population, in terms of social mix, in terms of energy, economy, in all these things, the tenement is an absolutely critical component. Minimum intervention, keep the interventions small. We need to recognise that interventions on an over-large scale, whether it was George Square in the 1960s or Holden Gate today, are the problem. huge supporter of Canongate Community Forum, the Canongate project, and I think this is a bit of energy which I hope will spread out further. We have a breathing space. I think we need to use that breathing space to build the message that conservation and development are not in opposition.
My contracting children, you're hungry. I know you want to feed. That's why you call me the developer! Now dance, my children, dance! Tonight we dine on the resistance.
My God!